Welcome back again. To know if we have muscle weakness or not, we will ask ourselves some questions. First question, can you exert the same muscular effort you did 10 years ago without getting tired? Second question, do you get very tired when you climb a short distance of about 10 or 20 steps, for example? Third question, how is your hand grip strength? Can you still open bottles with it, or do you find it difficult, or can't you do it at all? But what about the circumference of your thigh muscle? Is it the same, or has it decreased? Is your walking speed the same, or has it decreased? Do you need something to help you like a cane or a walker? How is your ability to rise from a sitting position? Do you get up quickly, or do you need support? Can you pray while standing, or do you need to pray while sitting? Do you have muscle pain accompanying any simple effort you make? If you answered any of these questions with yes, then you have muscle weakness and need to start addressing it as soon as possible before it develops and worsens. Muscle weakness is a serious condition that starts without you noticing in your early 30s. Yes, early 30s. That is very early. And it increases with age for most people, and it can lead to loss of the ability to walk, making a person prone to falling and dependent on others for the simplest things, along with the accompanying pain, psychological pain, and depression. What is the treatment for muscle weakness? The treatment depends on the person's condition and age. For example, someone in their 30s will need less treatment than someone in their 70s. That's why we will divide the treatment into 3 stages. We will start with the first stage, then if it's not enough, we add the second stage, and if that's not enough, we add the third stage, and so on. This depends on the patient's condition, their age, and the extent of muscle deterioration. The first stage does not rely on any medical intervention. We do not use any medications at all. We rely on sports and physical exercises. A set of exercises, all types of exercises like aerobic exercises, aerobic training, which is aerobics, and resistance training, where the person lifts weights and starts building and forming muscles according to their health capacity and endurance. It is preferable to have 3 to 4 workout sessions per week at least to achieve muscle growth benefits. The least a person can do in terms of exercise is walking, because walking can help control muscle weakness and reduce it, and it can improve muscle performance and strength. This is for the first stage where a person might not need to use medication, and it is effective when muscle weakness is at its early stages or at a young age, like in the early 30s or reaching the 30s and so on. The second stage involves adding some nutritional supplements and vitamins that improve muscle performance and strengthen muscles. The first of these vitamins is vitamin D, vitamin D3. Vitamin D would require a separate episode to discuss its benefits. And its benefits for the muscles are just one of its benefits, but it has many other benefits. The second thing is omega-3 oil. And this is sold in capsule form. It is taken to strengthen the muscles. The third thing is L-Carnitine and acetyl L-Carnitine. And we talked about them in a special episode. I will put the link in the description. The fourth thing is royal jelly. Royal jelly, which is the food of queen bees. Of course, it is well known that it has numerous benefits, one of the most important being that it enhances muscle growth. It works in many ways, which we'll quickly summarize because it needs more than one episode to talk about. It reduces harmful oxidation inside the muscles, enhances glucose entry in muscle nutrition, and stimulates protein synthesis, which is the building of proteins within the muscles. Okay? I mean, it protects the muscles and many other things that require a lot of detail, and it is also preferable to be taken with ginseng. There are many dietary supplements and vitamins available in pharmacies that combine both together, other vitamins beneficial for the body, which are royal jelly with ginseng. This is for the second stage, and this is also when the condition can be described as mild. But in the third stage, which is the most dangerous and severe stage, we use it when there is significant muscle deterioration or the patient's age is advanced. It is preferable to consult the doctor and the treating specialist before starting treatment. In this third stage, we use replacement therapy, where we compensate for missing hormones in the body, because if the muscle mass of a person decreases by 1%, every year starting from the early 30s, these hormones, which we will mention, have been found to decrease by about the same percentage or more annually. There is a very strong connection between them and muscle mass and muscle strength in the human body. Growth hormone, also known as the growth hormone. It is one of the most important hormones involved in many things, including muscle growth. Of course, the growth hormone is very, very abundant in people before the age of puberty or the age of 21. After that, it remains present, but its level gradually decreases until the 50s, and then it completely disappears, affecting many things, including immunity. This means it affects and leads to a weakened immune system. This is one of the reasons why older people are more susceptible to many viruses, most notably the coronavirus. Another hormone called DHEA. Of course, Arabs call it L-DHEA. This hormone is very important, and the body produces it. It also decreases at the same rate over time. In men, there is the hormone testosterone. And there are hormones in women, which are estrogen and progesterone. These also decrease with age. Let's start with the hormone testosterone. Studies have shown that the level of testosterone decreases by about 1%, as we mentioned, starting from the age of 30. And of course, testosterone doesn't just affect muscles. It has very significant effects on males in general. Sexual desire, the formation and development of the seminal vesicle, and many other things that would require a separate topic. However, testosterone greatly alleviates symptoms of muscle weakness. It is recommended to take it, of course, for older people as a form of hormone replacement. Of course, it has many side effects. Therefore, these things are not recommended except under medical supervision. Because it increases, the susceptibility to prostate cancer might increase this issue. It might increase the susceptibility to clots. Like most hormones, sexual hormones increase the susceptibility to cancers. The second thing, which might be safer and suitable for both men and women, is the hormone DHEA, or dehydroepiandrosterone. This is produced by the adrenal gland in large quantities. It leads to the production of female hormones and male hormones. It leads to the production of testosterone and estrogen. This hormone, when it decreases with age, leads to a decrease in testosterone and estrogen in men and women. Consequently, many symptoms begin, including muscle weakness and fatigue. Of course, they started to like or use this DHEA, and it is sold as a dietary supplement because it is safer than testosterone and estrogen and such things. And it is sold as a dietary supplement and is authorized in America to be sold over the counter, meaning you can take it without a prescription and buy it normally. It also comes here to Egypt, and people buy it, and it has many benefits which would require a lot of discussion. But here, we only mention one of its benefits, which is its effect on muscles. And of course, it is also recommended for elderly people. As for these hormones, then we have the growth hormone. We said that it is very abundant before the age of 21. It is responsible for children's growth and their height. Its deficiency leads to dwarfism. After that, it continues to be secreted in humans and maintains muscle mass in humans and gradually decreases. This hormone indirectly stimulates muscle building because it goes to the liver and works on liver cells, telling them to produce a substance called IGF-1, which stimulates muscle building. The more the growth hormone increases, the more this substance increases, enlarging the muscles, activating the muscles, and treating muscle pain and aches. However, it is also not recommended to use growth hormone except under medical supervision. In advanced cases, or at an older age, because these things have side effects, including that it causes or increases gynecomastia in men and increases the likelihood of some cancers, like prostate cancer, if taken for a long time and continuously. Also, bodybuilders who take for bodybuilding to have very strong and massive muscles. Of course, they don't have muscle weakness, but they enter competitions where an incredible muscle size is required. These players always take a combination of growth hormone and testosterone and growth hormone. It is indeed banned in sports, but it is difficult to detect. That's why they rely on it heavily to increase muscle growth. If you want to see its effect, just look at these people. Of course, they take it in an incorrect and excessive way, and it's unnecessary. And it's a process that is not recommended at all. Because these things were created to be medicine for humans, not a substance for people to profit from or to build muscles and shapes and so on. This is not desirable, and these things were not created for this purpose. This is regarding muscle weakness and muscle pain associated with age. Wishing you good health. Peace be upon you, and God's mercy and blessings.